nominate Honorable Cttee Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Our mission here is simple: to deliberate the future of policing in Nigeria.
House says the demand for state police stems from the challenges of insecurity.
The government's objective is clear: to foster a resilient, efficient, and sustainable power sector.
And as stakeholders in the power sector parley, House commits to ensuring efficient and sustainable power supply in the country. This is House Tickets, your window into the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Dehelia Mamza, your guide. While the recess from plenary continues, the 10th House of Representatives is not resting as it continues to seek answers to national challenges. Last week, it organized a one-day national dialogue on state policing on the proposal to decentralize the current Nigeria police force and empower states to create and operate their own policing system. The House Committee on Power, on its part, also held a one-day power sector stakeholders interactive dialogue to get at the root of Nigeria's power challenges. Details of this and more make up our package for today. Please stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. Monday, 22nd April 2024, the House, in collaboration with the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center (PLAC), organized a national dialogue on state policing to gather inputs on the proposal to decentralize the current Nigeria police force and empower states to create and operate their own policing system. The event held at the Sheraton Hotel in Abuja. During his presentation, Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, reiterated the commitment of the present administration to work with recommendations and suggestions that will address the current security challenges across the country.
The President is committed to listening to your recommendations and insights, invaluable to shaping the policies that will lead us towards a more secure and just society. The concept of state policing is not merely a policy proposal, but a potential milestone in the evolution of our law enforcement framework. It offers the possibility of tailoring law enforcement more closely to the diverse needs of our communities. As we discuss and debate its merits and challenges, let us remember our collective values and diversity.
I'm delighted and honored to welcome you all to this important national discourse.
In his keynote address, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, noted that the emerging challenges have rendered the current unitary policing system under the Nigeria Police Force ineffective, leading to calls for its decentralization by way of having state police. He added that the current security architecture in Nigeria has been overstretched by the numerous security challenges.
Our mission here is simple: to deliberate the future of policing in Nigeria, reflecting on our historical context and aligning our actions with the demands of our diverse and dynamic populace, and daunting contemporary security challenges that have stretched our existing system to a breaking point.
While stressing that the House of Representatives remains neutral in the debate for and against the creation of state police, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin admitted that many have argued that a decentralized and community-based approach to policing has become imperative to empower the states to address the complex security challenges in the context of their local environments and peculiarities.
Some see the current centralized structure of the police as a negation of true federalism. Several countries structured as federations have well-established state, provisional, or regional police that exercise authority over relevant subnational jurisdictions and collaborate on law enforcement matters with national or federal police, where both exist.
He also pointed out that, as legislators, the House was tasked with crafting laws that address people's immediate needs and anticipate and mitigate future challenges. He thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, noting that their presence signifies the importance attached by the government to national security. He equally appreciated former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and former Head of State, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, for lending their voices to the national discourse.
Together, we can pave the pathway.
Speaking earlier in his welcome address, the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okeze-Kalu, assured that the National Assembly will provide the right frameworks, legislations and oversight that will make state policing work for better for Nigerians.
Throughout this dialogue, we will delve into critical issues, gather valuable insights, and explore data-driven approaches. The information and recommendation gathered here today will be crucial in shaping the future of policing in Nigeria. We are optimistic that through collaborative efforts and commitment to evidence-based solutions, we can establish a policing system that is not only effective in combating crime, but also earns the trust of Nigerians and corporations between law enforcement and the communities they serve.
The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, who was represented at the event by his deputy, Senator Barrow Ibrahim Jibrin, also made his contribution during his presentation at the event.
The concept of state police has been a topic of debate for many years. It is a complex issue with no easy answers. But today, courtesy of the House of Representatives, we have the opportunity to engage in a national dialogue, to listen to the voices of our fellow citizens, and to forge a path towards a more secure Nigeria. Let us seize this opportunity with open hearts and open minds. Let us listen to one another, learn from one another, and work together to find common ground.
Thank you for being here and other clergymen that are here with us.
Special remarks were also made during the event by former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, as well as former Head of State, General Abdul Salami Abubakar.
We are not going to debate, and we should not waste our time debating whether we should have state police or not. Listening to the speaker, he gave the history. Even in this country, we operated it before. Why is that the military scrapped it? Because of the abuse. And that is the area we should concentrate on. How do we manage the state police and it will not be abused by state political actors? If state political actors are abusing the state police and using the state police to harass and make life miserable for people who don't belong to their political parties, could the commander-in-chief sit down and watch? Or will he order the military to go and overrun the state police? Of course, that will bring crisis in the country. So I think the key areas that we have to debate is how do we run the state police vis-a-vis the national security architecture of the country.
It is absolutely necessary the politicians, as much as possible, should avoid exerting influence on the ways the police is going to operate, if at all we agree to have the police. Although President Jonathan has already concluded that is the operational standard that we are going to discuss. I think we must really give it a thought to how to operationalize these police if we decide to have them.
Let's stop talking. Implement this.
Goodwill messages were presented by invited stakeholders.
The centralized policing system in Nigeria, though historic, faces challenges in addressing localized security threats effectively. It is evident that a more decentralized and community-oriented approach to policing is necessary to forestall criminality and maintain law and order.
Creating state police at the moment will exacerbate ethnic tension in the country. It could equally lead to potentials for divided loyalty, as there will be multiple commands in the states. There will also be conflict of jurisdiction. The dynamism and sophistication of crime in modern time is bound by capabilities of states to handle. We have incidences of terrorism, banditry, and these crimes are of very high caliber and requires a lot of resources.
Enough of talking. Let's stop talking. Implement this. Everybody is heading towards the same direction. So put aside talking the talk. Let's walk the talk now.
Also present at the event were the representatives of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Christopher Gwabin Musa, Chairman Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, Chairman of the Police Service Commission, representatives of the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, German Ambassador to Nigeria, the Sultan of Sokoto, as well as other traditional rulers, religious leaders, amongst others. The event also had interactive sessions where various topics of discussions were discussed. The first session was facilitated by the House leader, Professor Julius Ihovere, and it was chaired by the former Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Abdurrahman Bello Dambazal. The topic discussed was on the national security challenges and implications for nation building, examining the drivers and the way forward.
Without effective oversight, no security institution can work effectively. And to work for a security institution to work effectively, there must be accountability, there must be transparency, there must be rule of law, and there must be human rights, adherence to respect for human rights. So these four issues are very important in the oversight. And of course, too, no security sector can function without adequate funding. And they control the pulse of the nation. They control the budget, they control the funds. So it's for them now to ensure that it's not just creation of state police, but how do we fund it?
Police is just one of the numerous actors in policing. It's just one of the actors. It's not the actors. In fact, when a country depends more on police to policing, it means it has failed in the responsibility of its structure, from family to religion to traditional institution to educational system. These are all policing institutions. They are all policing agencies. It is so once you are beginning to focus as to the police as your primary policing, it means that other more fundamental structural policing institutions have failed.
An efficient and effective state police will factor community policing into its operations and thus ensure regular detection and prevention of crime. In other words, this country must move away from waiting until certain things happen before we have some firefighting approach, and we're now trying to solve it. Prevention, they say, is better than cure.
Experts in state policing, they have also come with a third item, that is a semi-decentralized police, whereas certain aspects will be devolved to state governments and then certain aspects will be retained by the federal government. We have talked of issues of operational independence, oversight, human rights. I think these are the issues that we're having problems. They should be retained by the federal government.
You're still on House Cttee, a weekly program that keeps you up to speed on the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria, coming to you on the NTA Parliament. Confronting Nigeria's power challenge as the nation migrates to a multi-tier electricity market, a legislative intervention. That was the theme of a two-day National Assembly Power Sector Stakeholders Interactive Dialogue, which took place on Tuesday, 23rd April 2024. During the presentations, the federal government reiterated its commitment, being a partner to the state government, to ensure stable power supply in the country. The details of the story comes up in our next report, compiled and presented from our studio. Keep watching.
The two-day National Assembly Power Sector Stakeholders Interactive Dialogue took place at the Ballroom Fraser Suites in Abuja. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who was represented at the event by his special advisor on power infrastructure, Engineer Sadiq Wanka, stated that states need to take a leading role in attracting investments in the electricity sector to recapitalize distribution companies and to ensure a steady flow of investments toward increasing electricity access. He added that the dialogue was timely as there is widespread recognition that the country is underperforming across all four pillars of providing electricity supply that is reliable, affordable, environmentally sustainable and available to all Nigerians.
Indeed, by some estimates, less than 20% of Nigerians have access to reliable energy of more than 12 hours per day. 45% of Nigerians have no access to any form of electricity, and as a result, households and industry have been dependent on self-generation that is both more expensive and more polluting. The Electricity Act 2023 that was passed by the National Assembly and signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seeks to overhaul the structure of the Nigeria electricity supply industry. It proposes a structure that promotes more competition and greater scope for tailoring power solutions to local needs.
Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, who declared the dialogue open, stressed the need to address the problems bedeviling the power sector and electricity value chain in Nigeria, adding that the House's commitment to transforming the power sector into a model of efficiency and sustainability is unwavering. He said despite the challenges, together as stakeholders, a reformed power sector that drives national growth and enhances the quality of life for all Nigerians is achievable.
The government's objective is clear: to foster a resilient, efficient, and sustainable power sector capable of supporting our nation's ambitious economic and development goal. Historically, the Nigerian power sector has grappled with challenges that have stifled its growth and hampered its efficiency. These challenges include inadequate generation capacity, dilapidated infrastructure, frequent disruptions in power supply, and financial inefficiencies that have eroded the sector's viability.
The Speaker therefore pledged to sponsor a bill to provide administrative procedures that entrench proper consultation and legislative review of process for tariff setting in Nigeria's electricity and other public services. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, while making his presentation, informed the committee on the proposal for the establishment of 3 gigawatts of solar energy sources across the 25 states in the north and southwest parts of the country, adding that the country has witnessed incessant collapse of transmission, which is caused by lack of adequate infrastructure as well as backup for the national grid.
The present administration of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in his renewed hope agenda, is determined and committed to address issues in the power sector and enhance the quality of life for all Nigerians. In his wisdom, he assented to the Electricity Act of 2023, which has liberalized Nigeria's electricity generation, transmission, and distribution at the national level, empowering states, companies, and individuals to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity.
Earlier in his welcome address, Chairman House Committee on Power, Representative Victor Nwokolo, stated that the workshop will serve as a platform for stakeholders to explore innovative solutions to the persistent challenges troubling the power sector.
We aim to provide a dynamic platform for stakeholders to evaluate the progress made thus far in the electricity supply industry development. We will dive into the successes, challenges, and opportunities encountered along the journey, seeking to identify key areas for improvement and innovations. And of course, by the Electricity Act of 2023, which provides for liberalization of the electricity generation, transmission, and distribution at the national level, state and local government levels.
Minister, you said that we have...
On his part, Chairman Senate Committee on Power, Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, lamented that despite the privatization of the power sector and the huge investment by past governments, the erratic nature of power supply in the country still persists.
We're taking a step forward to find our way back from where we started. We needed to privatize, and we privatized, and where are we? And they said, oh no, it's not that one. What the minister just said, that is privatization, is infrastructure deficit. So we don't have enough generating plants, we don't have this. And so, from the time of President Obasanjo, a lot of money was poured into the system. Where are we?
Honorable George Ozodinobi, you're welcome, sir.
In another development, the House Committees on Environment, Petroleum Resources Upstream, Petroleum Resources Downstream, and Climate Change has summoned the NNPCL, oil companies, agencies over environmental degradations in host communities. The summons were issued by the Chairman, House Committee on Environment, Representative Pondi Julius Gbagbojo, during an investigative hearing on the need to investigate the service and unprecedented environmental damage within the communities. This was on Wednesday, 24th April 2024. Representative Gbagbojo added that the matter to be addressed was critical as he threatened appropriate sanctions if those invited failed to turn up. He clearly stated the purpose of the hearing.
The oil producing communities in our nation have experienced environmental degradation and socio-economic marginalization as a result of decades of oil exploration and exploitation. The bountiful natural resources should have been a source of prosperity and development. But instead of prosperity, these communities have instead suffered from pollution, land degradation, loss of biodiversity, and deteriorating of traditional livelihood, and are estimated and inestimable and irreparable. It is in the light of the above that we have enshrined in our laws and status-setting obligations of maintaining basic principles of environmental protection, social equity, and corporate accountability, which behoves on any company seeking to explore our natural resources to adhere and uphold.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Declaring the hearing open, Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, who was represented by the Deputy Minority Whip, Representative George Ozodinobi, stated that it was important to protect the environment, adding that the immense responsibility falls on them as public servants to protect and safeguard the environment, as well as meet the challenges posed by the ravages of environmental damages.
Also, as representative of the people, we must ensure that the voices of those most affected by the environmental damage are heard and respected. We have to listen to the fears that are faced by the frontline communities, indigenous people, and marginalized groups who usually bear the brunt of environmental injustice. It is therefore for this reason that the House mandated the Committees of Environment, Petroleum Resources Upstream, Petroleum Resources Downstream, and Climate Change to investigate the environmental damage in oil-producing communities caused by non-compliance to extant laws by oil-producing companies.
Based on the resolutions of the leadership of this joint committee, I hereby move the motion that this investigative hearing be adjourned till the 8th day of May 2024. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
And that's it for today. It's been an educative half-hour spent as we brought you reports of committee meetings in the House wing, working round the clock to address the challenges confronting the nation in its quest for sustainable development. House Tickets will continue to keep you updated every week on the activities of your lawmakers, both within and outside the chamber. Always remember to visit our social media platforms to direct your comments and questions and even watch previous episodes of the program. Thank you for watching and see you next week.